As per my previous video, I finished painting most of it, but at any rate, I wasn't too happy with the final look. And for whatever reason, it's probably got to do with the fact that I didn't finish it properly or prep the surface properly. Whatever the case is, I've decided now I'm going to sand it back. It's not sand it completely back, but just give it a bit of a sanding to get rid of all the imperfections. And that'll kind of also get rid of the paint runs, and also to get rid of a little bit of the sheen. So I'm just using this, and effectively all I'm doing is passing the first coat, or passing the first run. And what it is basically a 220 grit paper. So it's very, very mild, a mild sand. And I'm trying to get rid of all the imperfections. I'm not talking about the imperfections of the actual laminate, but the paint imperfections. So these kind of little, see if I can get a bit of a focus there. You can see all these kind of little, I don't know what it is, but certainly didn't like it. And so I'm going to sand that nice. Okay, here's another example of what I was talking about with the paint runs. You can see here, so reflective, it's hard to, you can see there. And funny thing about it is, the more I sand, the more I can see where the imperfections are. But as I said, as long as it comes back smooth, I'll run my hand, and of course there's an example of where it hasn't been smooth. So now this stuff is quite tough, and you can see it actually, rather than giving a nice smooth sand, what it's doing is it's actually peeling it off in little chunks. See that? Like, yeah. So it's actually quite strange, but obviously that's the composition of the paint. Not much I can do about that. I'm just going to continue doing it, and until I get a nice smooth surface. And you can see here, so that's the sanded surface there, and here's the non-sanded. So I'm going to get rid of all that, make it nice and smooth again. Okay, now that I've sanded, I've gone ahead and remasked the windows and any other areas that need masking off. I've done that before, but I replaced some of them due to the fact that they got a little bit all crappy, but you know, these ones are okay. So the idea is one more coat to go on. Obviously these two and the furniture outside needs to have 2 coats, but and I'm also going to be painting that area and that area there. Alright, so I've started this area here, painted the back wall including this lower section here, and I've started painting, in fact I've finished this wall here and the first coat of the 2 top shelves area. And I must say, after I've sanded it back, the quality now is a lot better. I'm much happier with the finish. I don't know if you can see it here, but you can see how, barring the fact that there's already imperfections on the material itself, on the laminate itself, there is so much more gloss. You can see the reflection here on my hand. I'm so much happier with this finish. You can see there. What I'm doing now is I'm just painting this section here. As you can see, the cream and the white, and I've still got to paint this section here, the cupboard, the kitchen area here, and pretty much that's it. Barring the fact I've got to come back for the second coat of these two here. But as I said, much happier with the finish. Unfortunately, you kind of can't see because the glare on the outside is, but you can see here much more of how the paint was intended to be, I think. Okay, here she is, all completed. I've done a double wet on wet coat on these two, but it was about I guess 15 minutes between the first and the second coat. I just wanted to see what it'll come out looking like, and that includes underneath as well. So, as I said, much happier with the results this time. The only imperfections that I could see was due to the imperfections from the first coat, but certainly no major runs as I experienced before. Get that in focus. Here we go. And as you can see, as I said, a fairly decent finish. The only thing I found was using the mohair roller, which is this stuff here, that roller there, was that it does leave, as you can see there, little imperfections. And I'm not sure why that is the case when the actual tin recommends that you use the mohair roller type. So anyway, next thing now is for it to dry. I've got to actually paint the dinette and other bits and bobs, and but anyway, making progress. Okay, so there's the dinette area, obviously. Going to paint that all up. There's the two end pieces for the lower bunk bed, and this is going to be the front face of the front bunks for the dinette. Obviously, you still got to make the seat itself, but I've decided to keep the salvage the front end, just so that I've got the dimensions and so on. Keep the original material anyway. So I'll keep painting, just to give you an idea of what I'm doing. There's a little roller there, and I try to apply long, where possible, long strokes. Try to even out the paint. Don't worry about this edge here because the kick rubber piece will be there, hence I'm not particularly worried about cleaning it up, even though I'm painting on it. I just want to make sure I've got a nice sharp cutting in. Okay. So just, I mean, you guys should know how to do this. Thought I'll just add a little bit more work in progress stuff. Right here, the finished products. I mean, obviously, if you look closely, there's going to be imperfections, but it certainly looks much better than what it did before. And I've also done the back as well. So anyway, that concludes the painting of the inside of the Caravan. It was a bit of a long process because it was winter time, and you can't paint during the bad cold weather. So anyway, I hope you got something out of this, and as always, thanks for watching.